everyone, welcome back to Blue Heart Crochet. I hope you're all doing well. So today is going to be a bit of a different video, but it's towards craftiness, but a bit more on the organisation side. I did do a video not too long ago showing the things that I'm recording down in a notebook in regards to my crafty planning and recording and things like that. And I mentioned in there that I do record some things digitally, so I do it in two forms. I have a spreadsheet and I also use a program called Notion. The spreadsheet basically just contains every pattern I've worked on, and it has the yarn that's needed, the hook or needle that I'm using, where the pattern, what the pattern name is and where the pattern's found, and that's really it. It doesn't go into the type of project that it is, like whether it's an amigurumi, blanket, you know, stuff like that. It's basically those necessities. But I do use a program called Notion to sort of even track what projects I want to do in the future, and things like that, and what types of projects I'm working on. And I'll show you a bit more about, like, you know, what sort of the ways I sort of separate it out and why Notion's been so helpful to me. Basically what Notion is it's when you get on it, you can set up like as many of these pages as you want, and each page is like a database essentially. So you have one form that you use for absolutely every bit of data that you use, and then you have on the page ways that you view it. So there are different ways that you can see the information and how it's displayed, and that's really what I love about it. So I do have it all on my iPad here. I've got it up, I've got it screen recording, so hopefully I'll be able to match it up pretty good. But yeah, so on the project here, so the first page I'm on is the projects page. Now this is absolutely every project that I'm working on at the moment, or I have worked on. There are some down the bottom that you'll see that are done. I did start tracking to the end of last year. That's why there's not that many that are done. And it just shows the project that it is, the project type. So like, you know, as I said, amigurumi, socks, blanket, and then the craft. So the majority are crochet and knitting, but there are a few cross stitches that I want to do. And then on the final side, we have what's the stage of them. So am I actively working on them? Is it an idea of something I want to do in the future? Is it something that's currently hibernating, or is it something done? So they're effectively everything in there that we have. So I'm gonna go on to, which one was I looking at? So I have recently finished, where is it, it's down, it'll be down here at the bottom, frontline hero bit. So this is what the form is like. So at the top we see we have the title, which is whatever you want to call it. It's whatever I'm referring to that project as. So if it's I'm going to call it something different than what the trying to think of something. If I'm going to call it something different than necessarily what's the title of the pattern, I'll put that. It's just whatever I'm going to know it as. So at a glance, I know exactly what project I'm talking about. I don't have to go into click onto it to see more details. So here you see there's a form, and there's loads of different types of properties that you can use to fill out. So there's things like drop down boxes where you've got a select number of options. You can have bits where there's text, you can have check boxes, numbers, things like that. So I'm just going to click add property here. That basically shows you everything that you can sort of have as the properties on the form effectively. So going through what I've got on them, so I have what craft is it. There is crochet, knitting, or as I said, there's a handful of cross stitch. I really don't do it that much, but it's something I do pick up now and again. Then we have the pattern, so that's the pattern name. The supplies, this used to be the hook and needle size as well, but recently I have changed them, so over time I will just manually put the hook and needle size in a different section. But yeah, at the moment this is just the yarn. If it is cross stitch, then it will be you know, what threads you need, the colours and stuff like that. Then we have hook and needle, something done. Now the next is a checkbox, and this is supplies ready. So this means that I have all those supplies in my possession. I don't need to get anything for it, and you'll see why I've chosen a lot of these boxes when we go and view how I, you know, sort the forms out and things like that. Next one, the status. So, you know, is it, you know, hibernating, you know, is it a whip? Then we have 4 check boxes. These are bright light. So is it something that I do need to have quite bright light for, if I'm using like black yarn, for example? Minimal attention. Is it something that, you know, I can do and potentially watch something on TV that has the occasional subtitles in? That's sort of that thing. Is it portable, something I can put in my bag and take on the go? And also, is it time sensitive? Then I have the recipient. If it is for anyone, then there are some notes, any notes that I make along the way. So I've added, you know, extra rows in, crocheted certain parts of the body in a different way. The project type, so this one's obviously amigurumi. Then we have the year, and that's basically the year it started. And I did this because I wanted to try and focus on getting 2023 whips done. So yeah, that just sort of helps me work out what's been on my hook or needles the longest. And then the meters used, just because I love seeing how much I crochet, and also it'll give me an idea of, you know, how much I do need to have in order to do this project in the future. So that's one of the projects. Then if we go back on to the main page, and up here on the bar where it says all projects, there is actually this is how you view it in different ways. So I'm going to show you all the different ways that I sort it in the forms out, so I can see things at a glance. What you basically do is, if you click new here, oh no, wrong one, which one is it? I'm trying to think here now. So here, so if you add view, then you can choose how you want to view something, whether it is, you know, table, a board, timeline, gallery, list, calendar, etc. And basically, yeah, you change the view name. I'm just going to put this as X so that I know to delete this view. It doesn't matter. And yeah, basically you get it, it's X, and then you can choose here the things that you want to be able to view and hide from view and things like that. So, you know, the title, you can hide that from view. You can unhide things there, and that is basically what you do to so that you in each view you're only seeing certain parts of the form, so you're not seeing absolutely everything all in one. And this will make a bit more sense, as said, when you see how I separate things out. So the first one we have is project status, or status, sorry. So here we have, it just shows really the active whips and the hibernating ones. These are the ones that I'm currently working on at the moment, and the ones that are hibernating. At the side we do have 2 hidden groups, the done and the idea, and that's just basically so that I'm not going to really need to see them that often, but at the same time it's there and it's quick and easy for me to view. And this is just really helpful, particularly when I'm trying to pick up all the projects that I've been working on to show for you know, when I'm doing a craft catch up. On here is everything that I've currently been working on over the past couple of weeks. That makes it quite easy in that sense. And also when I finish a project, so what did I finish the other week? Finished something in the last craft catch up, I can't remember what it is, but when I get something off my hook and needles, I can see, oh yeah, I've got a bit of space on the left hand side under active whip. What maybe from the hibernating would I potentially want to pick up from there? So that's what all that is. That's why I have that view. Then the next one, we've done the current is So that's project status. Then we have current projects here. So these are anything that is put down as an active WIP that is shown on here. And this is where I said those checkboxes come into handy, because as you can see here, I have them put out. So I know if anything here on the time sensitive, probably prioritize that. You know, if I'm sitting somewhere that, you know, if I'm going out somewhere and I want to just grab something, take it with me, I can have a look what's on the portable. And then also there's the project type here. If I want to switch between something, say I'm getting a bit bored of doing some socks, I can pick up something else and things like that. So that's where I have that. To be honest, I probably should maybe add craft on, because sometimes I do get a bit bored with crocheting. I'm like, I just need to knit for a bit, or sometimes my hands are hurting with my knitting. I'm like, I need to crochet for a bit. So I think I'll probably add that onto the end. But this is what I mean, is it is very easy to hide and unhide things. So here we are. Oops, I think I've just unhid something that I didn't need to. But anyway, so it's the craft one there, isn't it? So there we are. It's added in there and ready to go. So this is what I mean, is you can constantly evolve it to what you need, and this is constantly changing for me. The next one is 2023. So these are all the projects that I had on my hooks at the end of 2023. Some of these had started well before 2023, but yeah, these are, I just sort of categorize them here rather than having to try and look back at videos, figure out where they are. And these are my priority to try and get finished this year. And it'll be handy going into 2024, 2025 in the future. I know that is 12 months off, or close to 11 now. But anyway, I just know that's going to be so much easier for me when I'm going into that year, and I can go, right, these are still on my needles from 2023. Am I still actively working on them and they're a very long-term project, or is it something that, you know, not worked on for ages, potentially frog, and things like that. So I think that's really helpful. And as you can see here, you just have at the top the filters. So I've got it for any that have the year 2023 in the section, and then also that are to do or in progress. So yeah, that's where we have that. Then the next one is, I think that's actually it. Or did we do the up next? Right, so this is the final view, and this is up next. Yeah, trying to go through them and remember what I've shown, not because they end up moving about. That's probably my only thing, is when you're switching between views, it will change up, so it's not the same ordering every time. But here's up next. So basically, this is what we've these are all the projects that I've got as either an idea or they are hibernating. Then we do have, you know, the project type, because if I finish and say a pair of socks and I'm thinking, oh, what do I want to start? And I'm like, oh, the Atlanticus sounds interesting. Why don't I pick that up? I'd probably go, do I really want to pick that up? Because I've got 2 blankets on my hooks already. And I'll probably want to, you know, stick away from having so many blankets on the go, because I end up getting bored of projects and things like that. So that just helps me pick something that's sort of similar, but maybe a bit different, so that I'm not having too many massive projects that are going to take me forever and get me feeling bored on my hooks at the same time. So that's why I do like to have the project type for when I'm picking a new project. Also then, like, you know, what's the craft, because at the moment, because I finished the Frontline Hero Bay that I was working on earlier this week, I finished that. So I did have, like, you know, 2 crochet, 3 knitting projects on the go. I do like to have a bit even like that. At the moment it is 3 knitting and 2 crochet. So I'll probably pick up next another crochet project to work on. And that's just because it's not because I want to, you know, do both of them equally. It's the fact that I do find I get bored if I stick to just one over and over again. So that's why I do like to sort of have that little bit of a mix up and being able to go between the 2 different crafts. And then also, like, you use different muscles to do the different things, crocheting and knitting. And I do find if I work on one a lot more than the other, I do end up ending up with sore shoulders, sore hands, fingers, etc. So I do like to have that that's why I do like to mix it up. So yeah, we've got the status, the project type, the craft, then we have the supply. So often I'll write down what it is it's knitting, what the yarn is for it. As I said, some of these I did start putting the hooks in the supplies. I'm now going to be putting the hooks and needles separately. But yeah, it's just sort of, so for example, here you can see I'm using Line Brand Mandala in the colourway Spirit, so that if I'm coming back to it after a while, it's easy for me to remember what I've used and things like that. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is what that yarn is for that them socks there. And then also down here I do have a checkbox here now, because it is shortened. I have shortened it just to get a bit of a better view. This is actually what I said, that checkbox with the supplies ready. So this means that everything that I could need for that project, from the yarn to the stuffing if needed, safety eyes, I've got all that ready to go. And that way when I'm coming here, I can prioritize things that I have got everything ready. I do have, as I said, when I showed you that Frontline Hero bit, I did have that note section at the bottom. And if, say for example, I am missing just a couple of colours, I can put that in the note section down at the bottom, that these are the things I'm missing. And then I can evaluate, like, say if it's going to be something that I'm not going to use till dead far on in the project, and the project's going to take me a while, I might go, yeah, okay, I'll start that because I don't need to pick up that supplies now. And yeah, and it's just that sort of trying to prioritise what I've got and things like that. But that is, as I said, how I use Notion. It's mainly helping me organise what I'm crafting on at the moment and what I'm picking on next and things like that. That's mainly what I use it for. As I said, the recording of things, I generally use the spreadsheet a bit more. Just because that's what I'm a bit more used to. I do need to, as I said, organise it in this way, because otherwise I end up getting one track down, going all around the houses, and I struggle to sort of, there'll be things on here that I'm like, yeah, okay, I really want to get them done, whereas you get sidetracked by something else, and then a few months down the line I'm like, oh, I really wanted to make that, and it, particularly when I'm doing things like gifts, I do think I need to be a bit more organized on that track. So yeah, this is why I use it, and as I said, it really also helps for when you're doing the recording for the videos. I can go back at a glance, see what I've been working on and things like that. But yeah, that is it. I hope this video has been a bit of use to you. I will try and link down a few other videos on that I've seen with Notion. I also use it to sort of track when I'm doing videos, like sort of plan them, so that I'm not trying to wing it, so that if I can film things in advance, I've got them filmed and stuff like that. I can remember what videos I've sort of filmed. I just need to maybe edit and things like that. Trying to get a bit more organised with that sort of aspect of creating videos, because I do really enjoy creating the videos. It's just sometimes I do need a bit of structure, because my mind can get quite chaotic and I get sidetracked and things like that. So I do use it to plan videos with that, and I'll link down to the video which sort of gave me ideas on how to plan videos with Notion. And then I'll also link down to a video where this person was using it for crafting. I believe it was Michelle of the Giddy Stitch, I want to say, is who I first learned about Notion from. Basically Michelle shows how she uses it for crafting purposes and tracking the crafting, and I'll link that down below in the description box as well, in case you might find that a bit interesting. They'll probably do a lot better summaries than I do about how to use this, but that's basically how I use it and how I sort of track what I'm working on and things like that. But yeah, please let me know down in the description box whether you use anything like Notion, or do you use any type of computer program or spreadsheet or anything like that to track your crafting. As I said, at the moment I'm using a mix of Notion my spreadsheet and Ravelry. But to be honest, the only reason why I include the spreadsheet is because I'm very aware that, you know, things can happen with the internet, and if Ravelry was to, if anything happened with Ravelry, I'd hate to lose all that access to all the things on there, and that's why I just use something like a spreadsheet as a bit of a backup. That's the genealogist in me, where I have saved so many records and then gone back and something's happened and they've moved collections or whatever, and where I'm saved is now just gone to a dead link. So that's a bit of the genealogist in me, where I'm like, no, need, you know, backups on my computer, don't trust the internet. But yeah, let me know what you do, because I am really interested to hear what you do to track your crafting. But yeah, hope you're all staying safe, taking care, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Bye.